Welcome back, guys. This is my prediction for SummerSlam 2024 card. Now, one thing that I'm thinking about is this SummerSlam absolutely needs to knock it out of the park. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because the plans are for SummerSlam to become a two-night event, just like WrestleMania. And I'm all for it if we're going to get good wrestling on the show. I'm all for a two-night event. It will lead to less fatigue and maybe a bigger card, more superstars getting opportunity to get a SummerSlam paycheck, all those kinds of things. So I'm all for that idea of a two-night show. And yeah, so this is possibly the last one-night SummerSlam. So let's get into my predictions of the SummerSlam card. So I've just got some notes in front of me. The first match is Bloodline, or this one, okay, so let me preface by saying I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 30th of July. So I'm recording this. There's still one go-home show before SummerSlam. So I believe the Bloodline is facing DIY for the Tag Team Championships. I believe that is on the card. So is it time for DIY to lose the championships? Probably not. But the Bloodline, they need the new Bloodline. Let's call them the new Bloodline because I might speak about Bloodline later in this. The new Bloodline absolutely needs, and this is an absolute must, they need some kind of gold in their camp for them to become a little bit more credible. And I think one of the MVPs of WWE main roster at the moment is Jacob Fatu. I'm very, very, very high on Jacob Fatu. So DIY's only had the tag titles for a short amount of time, but I do think, unfortunately, it's time for them to possibly drop those tag team titles, and I'm okay with that. That's my prediction. Next, we've got Sami Zayn versus Bron Breakker for the IC Championship. Now, possibly WWE wanted Bron Breakker to win the championship at a bigger event. SummerSlam is a bigger event. I do believe Bron Breakker must win. This is an absolute must win for Bron Breakker. Otherwise, he's going to start looking like a loser. Not that he is a loser at all. I'm also very high on Bron Breakker, but he absolutely needs to win the championship. And not just win it. He needs to look like the dominant beast he has been on NXT 2.0 and all of that. And on the main roster, he's not been that dominant beast. So I think not a squash match, it should be a competitive match, but he should absolutely destroy Sami Zayn. He shouldn't be pinned with one haluva kick like he was at the last BLE. It just makes no sense. So Bron Breakker should win, and he should be booked extremely strong. Next match, Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the US Championship. Now for me, the crucial thing is it's in Logan Paul's home state or home city. Is he going to get booed? I think he's a big enough heel to get booed in his hometown. So Logan Paul has been good value, but I do think if you look at what the IC Championship has been doing compared to the US Championship, the IC Championship has been elevated by the likes of Gunther, by the likes of Sammy, by the likes of Bron, challenging, by the likes of Gable challenging. The US Championship hardly ever features on TV. Now, I think LA Knight could be the champion that defends it week in, week out, week in, week out. I do think it's LA Knight's time, and Triple H, from what I believe, is quite high on LA Knight. So I do think it is his time, and I do think this is the spot for him to go over. Next match is Bayley versus Nia Jax. This is, of course, for the Women's World Championship. And this one, or not for the Women's World Championship, this is for the Women's WWE Championship. This one, okay, Nia won Queen of the Ring, so she got a title shot. I think WWE has severely dropped the ball with Bayley's booking. I think it's been, I'm going to use a word, lackluster. I think she could have revisited the feud with Io Sky, Io Shirai, whatever you want to call her. This is possibly the match on this card that has been built to the absolute worst. There's almost no build to this match. This match might as well not even happen. But what I think should happen is I think Nia Jax should win. I'm very high on Bayley, but I think Nia Jax should win to give some credibility to actually future King and Queen of the Ring winners. That will just go a long way in solidifying that PLE pay-per-view as one to absolutely must win and must watch. The next match we've got on this is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, and this is for the Women's World Championship. The other one is for the Women's WWE Championship. So, Dom will get involved somehow. Now, he's been doing this thing where he's trying to cost Liv a win, but he's actually been interfering in a way where Liv wins. He's trying to cost her, but he's actually gaining for her. Now, whether that's on purpose or not, I don't know. I think it's on accident, but he's going to interfere in some manner. And whether this is for Rhea to win or whether this is to cost Rhea the championship, that is to be seen. I do think there's a lot more meat on this story than just if Rhea wins now, the story's done. Liv and Rhea, it's done. So I do think there's a lot more meat on this for possibly going up to Mania even. I can see this going up to Mania. Maybe Rhea running it back at the Rumble, maybe not, but I do think Liv is going to retain, maybe with some Dominic shenanigans. That's just my thoughts. The next match is Punk versus Drew with Seth Rollins as special guest referee. What I really wanted to see, and I know it wasn't possible because of the King of the Ring, I wanted to see Punk, Rollins, Drew, and Damian Priest in a fatal four-way match for the men's World Heavyweight Championship. But unfortunately, that's not the case because Gunther, he's got his thing with Priest, which I'll get to shortly. But this match, so Punk, Drew, Seth, in some way or form, they're going to still be a thing for quite a while, and possibly the World Heavyweight Championship might get involved in this. I'm not 100% sure whether that's going to happen or not, but I do think, depending on which Seth shows up, I do think this is Drew's time to win. Punk has been costing him nothing but heartache and misery, so I do think it is Drew's time. But this match, I don't think this is going to happen, but Seth Rollins could pull some shenanigans and have like a double DQ or double count out. I don't know. Honestly, this is a match that I don't want either to lose, but I want both to win. But if I have to pick one, I'm saying Drew for the win. Next one is Priest versus Gunther, World Heavyweight Championship, and this match has been built to absolutely phenomenally. So there is a little known PLE coming up soon that's happening in Berlin, very close to where Gunther is from. Now, either WWE could do either one of two things. They can either have Gunther win at that PLE, or they can have him go in as champion for massive pop. Priest, last time I did my predictions for PLE, I said that Priest's run has been not so great, but now with this whole thing with Gunther, it's been picking up. It's been one of the must-watch pieces on Raw pretty much, and I do think this one is possibly the toughest one to call. But again, if you want to solidify the King and Queen of the Ring as an event to watch and an event to win, you need to make that count something. And I'm just going to say it, I think Gunther is going in to Berlin as champion, and I think he's going to usurp Damian Priest as champion at this event. And then lastly, we've got Cody versus Solo. This booking to this build has pretty much revolved around Roman Reigns and the Bloodline versus the New Bloodline. So, do I think Solo has any chance of winning? No, absolutely not. But could he look strong? Sure. And could they keep him strong by having him lose due to distraction? Sure. Distraction by who, I hear you ask? One of three people. Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, or ultimately Roman Reigns. Now, do I want to see Roman Reigns return at SummerSlam? Absolutely. Now, does he help Cody? Probably, but is there still some meat on the bones with him and Cody facing each other? Absolutely. But I do think he's got bigger beef with Solo at the moment than he has with Cody. So my prediction for this is Cody winning with maybe a distraction and maybe even a Roman Reigns return. I would be very happy with that. And that's my predictions for the full SummerSlam match card as of me knowing what's on the card right now. What do you guys agree with? What don't you agree with? Let me know your predictions. And until next time, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.